Good evening, Patty.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. It's the end of the day for me over here in LA. So this is my dinner hour. We're having
Oh
dinner
no.
together. No, it's
I-
totally fine. I already had dinner. But it's like nice and quiet, so it's good.
okay. It's 9 a.m. for me, so it's the start of my day. So I bet after this conversation, I'm going to be pumped up to do the rest of my activities. So can't wait.
Awesome.
So, hi, Patty. My name is Nicolette. Let me formally introduce myself. I am the creator for the podcast titled You're Worthless. Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul. First off, I'd like to say thank you very much for saying yes to be interviewed today and for taking the time to do this.
Of course, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I I think you might ask, like, I don't know if you read my profile, a podcast that talks a lot about self-worth, but why would she want somebody with financial I don't know, coaching? Honestly, it's because if you did have that question, it's because I can resonate so much with it. Come from a accounting background, and I truly am always open to learn, especially about coaching and the financial world, especially for women, since this is not really taught in school. In Malaysia, probably we did have a bit of, but there's no specific subject that cater to financial management, which they should, at this point, they should already, but still, no. I would like to read a bit of your introduction to our listeners today, and then we can get right into our conversation.
Sounds perfect.
All right. Hi, everyone. We have Patti Handy here with us today. After spending a combined 20 years as a financial advisor and mortgage advisor and having countless conversations with women, Patti decided to pursue her dream of financial coaching for women. She is a teacher at heart and she lives to educate and empower women with money smarts. Understanding that money can be an overwhelming topic for many, yes, she's audaciously passionate about creating financial confidence when it comes to your well being. This has been the catalyst to follow her passion of empowering and educating women in their financial journey. Patty is a certified executive coach, a certified life coach, holds a real estate broker's license, and a published author of 4 books. She is also a self-proclaimed chocoholic, loves to read, and the beach is her happy place. Welcome, Patty.
Yes, thank you so much. Chocoholic at large.
I love how you grasped that last word.
Yes. The one piece that's the most important, right?
Exactly, the most important one. So, Patty, tell us, before we get right into business, can you share with us what was it like growing up as Patty Handy?
It was great. I come from a family of 5 kids. I am the middle child, so I have an older sister and a younger sister and an older brother and a younger brother. So it's kind of unique that I had one of each. Wonderful parents, and we, I was blessed with a good life. My dad was a work. Out of the home, workaholic. My mom raised us 5 crazy kids and did an awesome job keeping us out of trouble. Yeah, and to this day, we're all close, and my sisters especially and I are very close. And yeah, it was good. Did the college thing, got married, had a baby, got divorced, and and then
Well, thank you for being so transparent. I love
yeah, I
that.
mean, it just go, from A to Z. I've been through it all. So that's the high level. If I tell you everything, we could be here for a few hours.
Well, I can totally resonate in the divorce part. So,
Mm.
a bit of background about me: 20 to 30 overachiever because of societal expectation, and then met somebody 20, I think 26, 27, got married, got divorced by 27. No, wait, hang on, 28. I had it all, and then had my burnout all before 30. So now I'm in my
Wow.
30, turning 34. So it's like a whole new slate for me. So I
Good.
can.
New chapters are starting. Good for you.
Yes. And so it often felt like when I was a kid, I always envisioned like 30 is like the max, the cap. Like 30 is where I will be settled, I will have kids, I'm taken care of, got a job, a good one, and a husband to care. Only for me to realize, boop, nothing.
Nothing is certain. And yeah, I think there's one thing that I've learned through my journey, and I'm considerably older than you. I'm actually turning 64 in August. So I'm a good
Thank you for
30 years.
revealing your age. I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah, it's a good 30 years more than you. So you can be my child. So there you go. But if one thing I've learned is that it is very important to become comfortable with uncertainty.
And yes, that's right. That is so true. And life doesn't stop at 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or 80. Just they don't. Okay, of course if you have that, but then 40 is like me. Life doesn't stop at 30, so stop acting like it. You can always scratch it off, turn over a new leaf and then start all over again. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would like to add, Patty, you do not look like a day older than 30, so.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you. I
No,
appreciate that.
really, that is sincerely from me. Like, you look amazing. I mean, even though
Well,
the
thank you.
pixel is not that sharp yet, but when this comes out on Riverside, mm, yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Betty, so question. Why would you leave a great job as a financial advisor to go out on your own?
Yeah, I get that asked a lot. I've had some friends call me ballsy, and it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. It really, it honestly stemmed. The seed was planted many years ago when I went through my divorce, and my son was 18 months old at the time, and I remember just being grief stricken and traumatized with dealing with divorce and sadness and just everything, the all consuming piece of it. And I was the person in the marriage that dealt with the finances. My ex-husband didn't know money and he didn't understand investing. And so I managed everything. Even though I had that knowledge post-divorce, there were some things that I did that weren't very smart. I made a lot of decisions that were made out of emotion, high emotion, and you don't make good decisions when you're highly, dealing with trauma and grief. And I remember saying to myself, someday I'm going to help people, especially women who are going through divorce or widowed or just single by choice, navigating life on their own when it comes to money and investing. And I went on to spend many years in the mortgage business and then as a financial advisor. And I left because I was having so many conversations with ladies over these, 2 decades when the topic of conversation when it came up, it would be the common theme. It was embarrassment, shame, overwhelm, fear. I should know better. I don't know why I don't know this. My husband took care of everything and I don't know what I'm doing. I would hear it over and over and over again. And as a financial advisor, we can speak to some of that, but a financial coach really dives deeper into that emotional side as well as the teaching side. So I saw that need and it wasn't being met with the typical advisor. And I decided to take that leap of faith, leave the firm, and start my own financial coaching business because I really wanted to make that impact in women's lives and help them navigate a place of financial confidence and peace of mind, because we all deserve that. We're all, as you say, we are worthy of having that peace of mind and living the life that we deserve. Yeah, big leap of faith. It's been a year.
1 year.
It's been 1 year. I left in
Wow.
April of 23. Yeah, so it's exactly 1
Wow.
year. Yeah.
Wow. And I'm about to go into my own therapy and coaching practice myself. And I know this whole notion of flipping the the narrative of being nervous to excitement. So
Yes.
I'm so compelled to say that I'm nervous. I'm excited. Although inside it's like, oh my God, how am I gonna do it or whatnot? But again, like we said in the earlier part of the interview, just take that leap of faith. And if you do fail, just try again, right? But what if you succeed? No, that's the
Yeah. Yeah.
better, yeah.
And let's look at the flip side. Let's say we do fail. Okay. We have no regrets. We tried it. It didn't work. We won't ever look back and go, gee, what if I had done that? And it, did fantastic. Or looking back and going, you know what? I tried it. That's fantastic. I was brave. I was courageous. And I applaud myself for trying. And I'm not going to ever wonder about like, what if I, didn't do that. So, whether you do great or you fail, and I don't like the word fail, let's just say it doesn't
Yeah.
work out the way you wanted it to.
Yeah.
It's not a unfortunate situation. It's a learning experience, and it's a growth experience. And I can tell you firsthand, being in that entrepreneurship role, it is a personal development course on steroids. I mean, it will teach you things about personal development that you didn't know you needed.
Love that. I love, I didn't see that coming.
You
It
can
was
steal
personal
that from me
development coach.
anytime.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. It's personal development course with
on,
steroids.
on steroids, yes.
Yeah, on steroids. Oh my god. Wow. Okay. I think you mentioned this just now, but can you probably lay out the common struggles you see with women and men?
Yeah, the common struggle is just the insecurities that they have because they haven't been taught this. And like you said earlier, it's not taught in schools. It's typically not taught at home. If the ex-husbands took care of the investments all the time and they dealt with it, they didn't really need to. So now they're coming into this as, by themselves, all alone, feeling very insecure, feeling very embarrassed, very frustrated, and it's they get this paralysis by analysis. I've also seen some that will jump into products at a time when they shouldn't have done because they're still dealing with the grief and the overwhelm and the sadness, and they're processing the loss. But they make a financial decision because somebody recommends something to them. They don't necessarily understand it completely, and they just, were sold a bag of goods that sounded like it was too good to be true, and it was. So that's why I always tell ladies, do not do anything for at least 6 months until you get out of that brain fog, that black cloud that you're under, and give yourself some time to heal and to just get better. Certainly, you're not going to be all better in 6 months, but you're going to be able to think a little clearer, ask the right questions, understand what you're doing with the financing, and so just be cautious of that.
Mm, mm, mm. Well, I have a question just now. I lost my train of thought. I have a questions here. I wanted to ask, like, so let's say this women that they so when they come to you, what is your first advice, or is like a framework that you give to them?
Yeah, so the first thing that we do is I get a really good understanding of what they're going through, where they're at in life, what their struggles are, where their pain is. And it's different for every person. Everybody's at a different place, and it's not a one size fits all, which is why private coaching is so important. And I start where they're at. We go into what their situation is. So oftentimes, if it's really starting over and they're just starting from scratch, we get a very good handle on what's coming in as far as money and what's going out in terms of spending. So we look at whether it's a job, whether it's support, whether it's Social Security and a pension or rental income or whatever it is that's coming in, and then what is going out in terms of all our expenses. And we decide, okay, we're upside down every month, or we have a positive cash flow. So now that we have a positive cash flow, let's look at where we can put that money and start putting that to work. So whether that's investing or whatever we decide to do, and then we look at their net worth. So we look at their assets and their liabilities. So if they own a home, if they own retirement funds, brokerage account, minus any debts, mortgage, credit card debt, school loans, whatnot. And we kind of get a financial snapshot of where they're at today, which oftentimes is a great place to just find that clarity of, okay, this is where I'm at today. I want to retire by this age. I've got this many years until I want to retire. So let's create that roadmap to get to that place by this time. And whether that's working on paying down debt, whether that's working on investing your money, whether that's rebuilding credit after a divorce. Sometimes credit can get, beat up a little bit with a divorce. Whatever the case is, we navigate those individual things. We work together to put a plan in place to do that, and I kind of work with the client to help them with that step by step, and we kind of handhold them. The other piece of it, which is interesting, is so many times with my conversations, we don't talk money at all. It's a lot of life coaching. It's a lot of digging into some other things that are happening in life. It's understanding their money mindset and their relationship with money and why they're doing what they're doing with their money. So we untangle and unwind a lot of things that may or may not be happening in their life. So although it's not necessarily okay investing per se, or credit or debt or spending, it all intertwines, it intertwines with each other, because our spending habits are a result of some limiting beliefs in the back of our mind, our thoughts, our experiences, our relationship with money, the ancestral trauma that we're dealing with, all that the component of why we do what we do with our money. So
Mhm.
we go into that piece, and that topic is a very deep conversation in itself. So kind of coming full circle, basically I start where they're at, and then we move
Mm.
forward, and it's very individual.
What would you recommend for a woman to what would you recommend for a woman starting over?
Well, first I would say give yourself some grace. It's important to recognize that you're going through a difficult time. There's no gain to be had by beating yourself up for not understanding some of this or finding shame in any of this. You have talents and skills that other people don't have. So give yourself some grace, and face this situation, as courageously and brave as you can. Seek the help of those that you trust. So whether that is a financial advisor, a financial coach, your CPA, an attorney, reach out to somebody that you trust and learn all that you can. There's a lot of good information online. There's a lot of bad information online. So be careful who you're watching and listening to online. Stay with the bigger names. Stay with the people who are seasoned.
Stylish.
Yeah,
Mhm.
those that are professional, and have the experience of being either a financial advisor or somebody who has, the experience that you're looking for. But start with people that you know and trust. That's really, and then ask the questions, and don't be afraid to ask questions. I mean, I've been in a situation where um, I'll be, being told something about a product or something, and I'll say, you know what, I don't understand what you just said. Please say it differently, slow down, and talk to me like I'm the fourth grader. And it's okay. I'm not embarrassed or anything about that. It's like, I don't know what you just said. Please help me understand it. I want to understand this. Um, it's okay to ask that question and be okay with that. And that will come with, increasing that financial confidence, which I think is very important.
Thank you. Patty, I do have a question though. So let's say this women or me say I want to reach out to somebody and said, "Oh, I need help about this." So to a financial let's say if somebody's coming to me for help, how do I start that conversation? Like, do we help him or her out of goodwill, or do we like start giving our service? Like, okay, here's what is your advice since I'm entering this space myself?
Yeah, so I would basically suggest that you offer a complimentary 30-minute discovery call, which is
Right,
what
right.
I do on my website. So they can
Mm-hmm.
meet with me for 30 minutes, and we're not going to solve their problems in 30 minutes. We're not going to
That's
get
right.
everything about everything in 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about us getting to know each other, me understanding what their challenges are, determining if I can help and how I can help, and I will
Mm-hmm.
tell them I can help or no, I can't help. Depending upon what's going on, I might make a recommendation or two, but then I, will share, this is how you work with me. Here's some options.
Right.
And
Okay.
then they can decide if it makes sense for them
If
to
it
move
makes sense for
forward.
them to invest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Simple. Okay. I think
Yeah.
coming in with the mindset of this is what you're asking for help, and this is how I can help you, and this is how I'm packaging this, and then you'll see we'll decide if this is aligned to where you wanna go towards.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's
Good.
important
Super.
to, as you probably know, as being a coach, one of the best things that we can do is listen. And that is about us asking the questions and asking the right questions to guide them to, the answer. And then, like I said, listening to what they're saying. Oftentimes, just listening and letting them unload with whatever they're kind of navigating is helpful in itself. So that's a really important piece to, keep in mind with that. But that 30-minute discovery call, again, is really not meant to, you know, give them all
It's
the
about
answers.
getting to know. Yeah. Yeah.
It's them getting to know you getting to know them, seeing if it's a
Mhm.
fit, making sure that you can help them. If you can't help them, I mean, I will tell them I can't help you, but here's somebody who can, and I'll
Yeah.
refer them to whoever, if it's a legal issue, I'll give them to an attorney or whatever, and then we just kind of go from there.
I love that. Thank you for that tip for a solopreneur like myself.
Yeah, of
Appreciate it,
course.
Penny. Betty, we did say you mentioned about money mindset just a little while ago. Now, how does money mindset play a part?
So the topic of money mindset is a very big topic. Basically, it's our relationship with our money. It
Mm-hmm.
is, and I'll kind of give a quick recap because it can be, like I said earlier, a several-hour conversation. From birth to about age 8, our brain is this sponge, and what we hear from our parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever is in our circle, we're hearing them speak, whether it's about money, whether it's about people, whether it's about how we eat, whatever the case is, and we take all those facts as we think they are as reality. Those are the truths, and it sort of gets locked into our subconscious mind. As we get older, we find ways to prove that to be true. So if we're told, "Oh, money doesn't grow on trees," "Rich people are greedy," "Rich people only get rich by hurting other people," that's a scarcity fear, limited belief. That's a scarcity mindset. If we heard growing up that, oh my gosh, there's abundance everywhere, there's opportunities and possibilities everywhere, you can make money easily if you just, find the path that you want to go on and stay committed, and whatever that is, that's a very positive, abundant mindset. So we have this programming in our subconscious mind that is kind of on a loop, and we are making decisions. We hear these limiting beliefs, or we are listening to the real in our brain, and our mind, I should say, and that creates our thoughts. And then our thoughts create our experience and our behavior, which then creates the experiences, which create our results. So if we look at our life and we're not happy with the results, we've got to kind of take all those steps back, unwind and unpack all that and go, okay, what's behind all this? What limiting belief is playing in this subconscious loop that's not working for me? And that takes work. You've been programmed for decades a certain way. You're not going to turn on a dime. But the first step is to be mindful and aware that, okay, this is not, what I think is truth is not truth. It's a lie. And let's poke holes in the boat, so to speak, and let's prove the lies to be false. And then we kind of work on reprogramming and shifting.
Wiring.
Yeah, rewiring. The good thing is our brain has neuroplasticity, so we can change the neural pathways in our brain, our mind, so that we can, in fact, have a different experience in life. So again, it takes time, it takes work, but it can be done. And if we have that mindset of lack and fear and scarcity, that's what we're going to continue to attract. So that's where, like, the law of attraction comes in. If we're always thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to always be struggling, I'm always going to be broke, I'm never going to make the money I want to make, this negative self-talk, we're going to be attracting more of that. We're going to be bringing more of that in. So we've got to be really mindful of our self-talk. We've got to be mindful of what we're saying, what we're thinking. When we catch ourselves thinking those negative thoughts, we've got to stop ourselves and then reword that conversation. And again, that's all part of what takes time. And there's many different modalities that people use to also shift, from hypnosis to meditation to breath work to inner child work. I mean, it can go on and on. And you're shaking your head, so you probably are very aware of what I'm talking about here.
Because I'm doing hypnotherapy myself. That is
Oh,
the
you
practice
are?
I'm going into. Yes.
Okay, there you go. So you're very familiar with what I'm saying. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to unravel that and unpack that. And I honestly feel, personally, this is a lifelong journey. This is not going to change overnight. We are wired, our brain is wired in a negative bias. And it's wired that way because it's protecting us to keep us safe.
Survival
And
mode.
it's survival mode, exactly. We're not wired to thrive. We're wired to survive. And so when we get in a situation where we have the opportunity to thrive, like those who win the lotto, right? Win the lottery, they come into millions, and then shortly thereafter, they've gone through the money. They have subconsciously self-sabotaged that because it's not familiar, it's not safe for them. And although the idea of having millions is like, whoo, this is awesome, it's like, holy, I'll keep my language clean.
It's okay.
You know,
Yes, my content, it's okay.
yeah, okay. So holy shit, I can't, this money, what do I do with it? I need to, somehow blow it. Not consciously.
Exactly.
This is the subconscious loop playing here. So again, this can be a very long conversation. I just blew out a lot
I
of
love
information
it.
there. But
I
go.
love it, Patty, because I believe you, number one, you touched about the law of attraction. You don't attract what you are. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So if you do win that a million bucks, 10 millions, but you are still in that scarcity mindset or the fear rather than the love space or abundance space,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna blow through that money. And imagine this, like I tell myself too, okay, Nicolette, you wanna achieve this, okay? But then can you fathom if you really achieve that much of money, or do you accumulate money, for example, or asset? Okay, fine, money. Can you handle it? What is your feeling when you actually get that? When you see that amount in your bank account, can you handle it? That's the thing that I like to say. Okay, you want this, you want this, you want this. Okay, now that you have it, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna multiply it? Are you gonna put it into investment? What are you gonna do? Because if I'm still operating from the childhood programming that money doesn't grow on tree, and then it's the fear, oh, I'm gonna blow this, and then I keep calculating like when is this gonna gonna be depleted, instead of like, okay, maybe I should put this somewhere to invest in this and that, and how do I multiply,
Yeah.
right? And it's so dangerous, and so many people, it's the feeling that's attached to money. That's
Yeah,
it. It's the
it's
emotions. Yeah.
it's the relationship. And if they feel like money is dirty or money, I don't deserve the money.
Yes.
I don't want people to think that I'm greedy. I don't want people to think that
Not
I'm
worthy of the
I'm
money.
worthy. Then, yeah, you are going to find ways to subconsciously just sort of blow it.
Oh, then there's a
Well, yeah, there's a thumbs
there,
up. Okay. I'm like, wow, that was interesting.
yeah.
Um,
Sometimes it does that. I don't know.
yeah,
It's Riverside.
I've actually I've had that happen to me before. I've experienced that. Um, but yeah, I think it's important, and that's when at least you are. If you were to suddenly come into $10 million, you have the awareness and the mindfulness of, okay, this is uncomfortable for me because I'm not familiar with this much money, but I'm smart
Yes.
enough to know that if I don't do something proactive with this situation, I'm going to blow it. So I'm going to even uh, talk to a CPA. I'm going to talk to a financial advisor. I'm going to reach out to my attorney. I'm going to talk to people who I trust. I'm going to get a second opinion. I'm going to do my research, and I'm going to get help with this because I
It's
can't
true.
manage this myself.
It's true.
And they'll keep you on track, and they'll help you stay, proactive with investing it properly. But keep in mind, no one cares more about your money than you do. So you
Exactly.
have to be super careful about
Super careful.
who you
Yeah.
hire, who you
Mm-hmm.
trust. That's why I say get a second opinion and be mindful of just really understanding what it is you're investing in. Make sure you understand it completely. If there's anything that you don't understand, I know we're going off topic here a little bit, but this is an important topic. Is if you're being sold something that you don't fully completely understand 100%, you need to push pause
That's true.
because that can be. I've seen people invest in different products, not fully understanding it, and then it was like, oh, that was a mistake, and it was unfortunate. So
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so I guess say one accumulates the money, and then they go out, they do their own research, so they talk. Because like you said, anybody out there is out for to care for themselves, because and it can be in the form of exorbitant fees, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that will
Mm-hmm.
eventually, because okay, you had the intention of investing, multiplying it, growing it, but then the fees that's being charged to it left, right, and center, you're gonna diminish it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And that's
it
where working
is.
with a financial coach can be helpful because
Mm,
we typically, as coaches, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I don't think any other coach does, but I'll speak for myself. I don't sell product. I don't make a commission on selling you, a particular product. I'm not going to make money on managing your assets. I'm not touching your money. I'm not managing assets. You're hiring me to coach you and teach you and educate you, and then you're going to be able to go out and make those decisions, ask the right questions to the advisor, understand what they're saying to you when you do speak to them, and just be more confident financially. So there's nothing, in it for me to earn a commission or earn a percentage of your assets and that. So that's why, and even like an attorney, they're not going to make money on a sale or your CPA. They're going to give you
yeah.
advice. They're going to give you good advice based on your personal tax bracket and your tax
Hmm.
situation. So yeah, your first line would be your CPA, who knows you very well and knows your financial, and they probably have referrals to people that you can talk to.
I love that. Thank you so much. Because I'm a CPA myself, so I love
There you
that.
go.
Whatever you touch everything. Like, this is what people need to hear. But
Good,
again, the
good.
stigma, the shame, right? But it's okay. That's why people like you, and hopefully me too in the future, they're not like ashamed to come to us and ask for help, because really we just want to educate people
Yeah.
and just take control of your money.
Yeah, feel confident and have that financial independence and feel that peace of mind that we all deserve.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Because a friend of mine, I remember talking to her just a few weeks back. She was like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't want to look at my. I don't want to look at my financials right now.
Mm,
Why?" And you can really tell, like, it's easy. Just go look at what you have and what you owe. That's it. Simple. First line, individual,
hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so scared. And she was like, "Okay, just go through this first. What you owe, your assets, and your whatever, your how liquid are you and whatnot." And then she was like, she was secretly typing, "Oh, what is it, Nick? Can you repeat that?" I'm like, it's fine. But again, like, if one person is like that around, there's so many other people that are like that. And it's this thing like, oh, it's the shame, the stigma on around money, or because it's very taboo, and it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be. I
Yeah.
kind of joke with people. It's like, you get a group of girlfriends together and they're more out to talk about their sex life or their husband or anything else. But when it comes to money, everyone zips it. It's like,
Nope.
no, no,
Nope.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, you don't need to walk around and say, this is what I make per year and I got this much money in investments. You don't need to disclose everything, but
Yeah.
it's okay to be comfortable just having those conversations. Like I was at a function recently and a friend asked me, we were talking about our house payments and mortgage and versus rent and this and that and whatever. And it was a lovely conversation. And she asked what my mortgage payment was. And I didn't care. I told her what it was without even a second thought. And I thought, that's
Transparent,
fantastic.
right?
I love
Right.
the fact that she asked because I thought this is
Okay.
awesome. It's a testament to our closeness of our relationship, right? And it's just like, this is the way it should be. This is the way, women should be talking to each other. Here's what my mortgage payment is. This is my property taxes. This is what I pay in insurance. This is my monthly net. Whatever. It's like, this is great. This is fantastic conversation. This is freeing, and women help women, and
Liberating. Yeah.
it is. It's very liberating.
Hmm.
Like I said, I love the fact that she asked me.
But there are some people. I won't. Yeah. Yeah. Few close friends that, because I am a very honest, transparent person. Because I don't think I see the good in people first. So I'd
Hmm.
say just very naively. So how much is roughly is it like say, so for example, I'm going into a therapy, right? Professional indemnity insurance. And I'd ask her, okay, so roughly how much is it you pay? Because I need to do comparison because I've not done this before, and I really genuinely just want to learn. And she's like, just something very yeah, not too much, not too much. And hmm, hmm,
Yeah, not comfortable.
okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay, that's okay. I mean, there's always Google, and I can always call those institutions and whatnot.
yeah,
But I was kind of disappointed.
yeah,
So, but it's okay. It is not. I'm not gonna project that. But I know now that
yeah,
okay, money
yeah,
matters. It's fine.
yeah. And it's not about
Yeah,
you. Don't take that personal. It's more about
yeah,
her and her insecurities and her
precisely.
fear, which is completely fine because that's just
Hmm.
she's not comfortable with it, and that's
Yeah,
we're all on a journey. We're all at a certain
that's so
place,
true. That is
and
so true.
it's totally okay. There's no shame in that either.
Hmm.
And hopefully she'll come to a place where that conversation is flowing
Free
easily.
flowing. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I still love her.
of course, of
Just
course.
yeah. So, Patty, I think we're gonna pivot to your personal life a bit. How did you navigate your divorce and raising a toddler at the same time?
Yeah, boy, that was a roller coaster, honestly. It was, two steps forward, one step back, three steps forward, five steps back. I mean, it was just this gyration. The healing process was not a linear straight line. It was, good days, bad days. And there was lots of things happening. Before I actually had my son, I worked in corporate banking. And I decided to leave that when I had my son to be at home with him. So I was not employed when I went through my divorce. So I had to figure out what to do for income. And I wanted to be at home with him first and foremost. He was my priority. And I didn't want to leave him in daycare all day. He lost dad full time, and I didn't want him to lose mom full time. So I, was scammering for a while, trying to figure out what to do. Landed in the mortgage business, which allowed me to work at home, make my own schedule, and it worked out really well. I was able to, take him to school every day and take him to every sporting event and all that, which is a huge blessing. And I'm truly grateful to this day, for that gift. But it was tough. I mean, it was tough. Like I said earlier, I made some bad financial choices. I did that out of part desperation, part trying to catch up because, divorce is expensive. You split your assets and you kind of start from scratch.
Really?
Um,
It is really expensive in the US.
it is.
Wow.
It's very
Wow.
expensive. And then of course you lose half your assets, because you split everything in half. So,
Really?
yeah, yeah, it's
I'm
a
curious, Patty. How does it work there? When a union two people come together to a union and then all of their assets are joined automatically. Is that right?
Well, if there's no prenuptial agreement,
Right.
if you have a prenup and you separate things out initially, then that's different.
It's
But
clear cut. Mm-hmm.
yeah, California is a community state, which means everything is joint. Now, that doesn't mean black and white. It's, everything is split 50-50. For the most part, that's the case. But in a divorce situation, if you and your spouse agree upon on the way you split things, then that's
Right.
fine. The courts don't
Okay.
care.
If it's amicable, then okay. She
Yeah,
takes the house, I take the car or whatever, and
right,
the dog
right.
and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't have to be exactly 50-50, but typically you split your assets like you'll take your 401k, I'll take my 401k, you take, like you said, here's the house, there's my car, whatever the case is. But it's usually pretty close. I mean, one spouse is not going to give away, everything, and while the other spouse walks away with nothing. Again, in the absence of a prenup. But yeah, it's definitely it's expensive. And then of course you have one income. You don't have two incomes, and it's just it's a costly situation. So there was a lot of navigating the finances, navigating the schedule, navigating being a mom, maintaining the home. It was overwhelming. And I leaned on particularly my sisters a lot, who were huge support for me, and some very dear close friends. So for those that are going through a divorce, lean into your community, lean into people that love you and will be there for you. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and you will come out the other side someday, and it will
Mm.
be a beautiful thing. You've just got to get through that dark time. But yeah, I mean, it was one day at a time. I mean, at the very beginning, it was like 1 minute at a time. I would wake up and go, okay, help me just get through the next 10 minutes. And then the next 10 minutes, and then the next 10 minutes, and then trying to be, a happy mom and not being this mess in front of my son. And so it was quite the ride. Let me tell you, it was quite the ride. But I have that to say that my son is an adult, and he's happy, and he's a well-adjusted, fine young man, and I'm very proud of him. So it all worked
I'm
out.
sure he is. I think you've done a great job, Patty.
Yeah, thank you.
There was no kids involved in my case, but it took me a good 4 years just to get out of it completely, to accept it. So
Yeah,
everybody's journey is different, really.
everyone's journey is different, 100%, and every circumstance is different. Whether you've got younger kids or older kids, if the kids are, having a difficult time with it, and they're frustrated with mom or dad. I mean, there's so many things that can, mess it up even further. But yes, every journey is different. And I remember saying, when am I going to feel better? I don't want. I want to stop.
Yeah, me
I just want to
too.
stop crying. I want to stop crying. When am I going to feel better?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
no one answered my question. Of course not. It's just everyone's journey is different. And but I did feel better, and I did stop crying. And for those listening that are going through this, so will you.
Thank you for that reminder. We all need that.
Yeah.
I remember those times. So it's like, am I gonna get out of this? Am I?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's so rewarding. It's so worth it once you're on the other side.
Yeah.
Look
Yep.
at you now.
You just
thriving.
you just learn how resilient you are, how strong you can become. You can look back on the lessons that you learned, and how you can take those lessons moving forward. So yeah, there's a lot of I'm not going to say there's a lot of great things about it, because there's nothing great about divorce, but well, I shouldn't say that either, because sometimes divorce is the best decision. But it's a difficult road, but once you get to the other side, it is a much better life than you probably will realize.
And you understand about yourself so much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Patty, so what else besides investing should a woman focus on when it comes to their money?
Well, there's quite a few things. One of the first things I usually recommend is if you have to rebuild your credit, or make sure you know what your credit score is, and learn to do whatever you have to do to get that credit score up, because your credit is ultra important. Now, quite honestly, full disclosure, I'm not sure how it is in Malaysia as
In
it
Malaysia.
is it is the United States.
It is. We have a credit score, credit rating, and that
Okay.
affects, it goes
Everything.
into all of your everything. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so it's somewhere. I would imagine it would be. But if your credit score is bad, you're going to pay the worst rate on a house or a car, or whatever it is that you buy, credit card, anything that has an interest rate to it, you're going to get the worst, or the highest rate, or one of the highest rates. So work really hard on getting your score back up, so that if you do have to refinance a home, or buy a home, buy a car, or whatever you're dealing with, you're going to get a good rate, because you'll have a good score. So oftentimes with a divorce, you've got to split and close old credit cards, because they're joint. You've got to close those out, rebuild your own credit. So navigating that is really important. So I always say, pull your credit report, take a look at it, get your FICO score, understand where you're at, and then we work together to basically build that back up. So getting your credit up is very important. If you're carrying some debt, credit card debt, let's look at ways that we can, pay that down, pay that off. So we navigate that as well. Yes, the investing side is very important. What, where should that money go? I don't give financial advice anymore. I can't tell them, okay, put 10% of your portfolio in this fund and 10% in that fund, but I will educate them on the funds, the differences between mutual funds and index funds. I will show them them how to look at expense ratios, teach them how to look at performance, how to analyze a fund on their own. So if they want to do their own investing, they, are educated in that. If they end up using a financial advisor, I will help them determine what questions to ask that advisor, so that they can make a good determination if that's the best advisor for them. And then, get a saving habit back up. Let's look at ways to rebuild savings. Let's get an emergency fund built up. Let's learn how to get our taxes minimized as far as our responsibility, and just we take everything. And like I was saying earlier, a lot of the conversations that I have are more life coaching than financial coaching. So it's a combination of things that we navigate, and of course that money mindset thing that we covered earlier.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Patty, there is so much noise online. What do you suggest to filter through it all?
Yeah, the noise, I always say that there's so much noise I can't hear myself think. It's important to, like I was saying earlier, find, one or two individuals that you know and like and trust as far as, financial information, and just follow them and whether it's a podcast or their newsletter or whatever it is, their blog. There's so much on YouTube. There's so much, noise online, that if you try to follow, more than a couple people, it's going to get confusing and complicated, and you're going to you'll have this paralysis by analysis kind of, thing, and you're not going to do anything. So find one or two people that you like and trust and learn from them. There's some great books out there. There is some great podcasts out there. There's some great resources. So start to explore those. And after a while, when you're listening to this podcast, you're going to determine if this person knows what they're talking about or not. You're going to determine if you like them or not, if you resonate with them or not. And that's, you just trust your gut when it comes to that. And then, like I said, just always get a second opinion. Try to just learn from a few people. And after a while, you're going to see that the mechanics of investing and the mechanics of money management is really quite simple. It's that foundation piece of the money mindset. That's the part that needs more massaging and more attention. But once you understand how to invest, once you understand how to look at a fund, once you understand the mechanics of your credit and all that, managing your, what's coming in, what's going out, and you get in that rhythm, you're going to look back and go, well, that was a lot easier than I thought. Why did I
Just
make
take that first step, right?
Just take the first step. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Absolutely.
face the fear. Just take that first step. Even if you're struggling, like it's, oh my God, I have to do it. Hey, can you help me with this? Oh, it's not so difficult. You can probably do this. Oh, okay. And you start facing that fear head on, and slowly, one step at a time.
Yes. Do it afraid.
Yes. Do it afraid. Do it anyway.
Yes.
So, Patty, what is next for you?
Well, I am going to explore corporate financial wellness workshops. Going into companies and offering financial wellness workshops to the employees. I've also expanded my services to include back in mortgage lending. So I am back in the mortgage business. Those clients who work with me with the loan will get the added benefit of the financial coach hat as well. So we'll look at their financial situation as its entirety. So when we look at a loan, we'll determine what loan makes sense for them based on their situation. And just to continue to help and serve.
I love that. Congratulations on your new venture.
Yeah, thank you. Just growth. We're always growing.
Yes, we are. Patty, so this is a question on self-worth, since my podcast talks about self-worth. So the question for you is self-worth. Oh, excuse me. My alarm. It's time.
Is it time to stop? Oh dear.
No. I don't know why. It's like, okay, 9:55. Okay. Yes, the question is self-worth a constant state, or can it fluctuate over time? And how can individuals navigate these fluctuations and maintain a positive sense of self?
That's a good question. I'll speak for myself. I personally feel that we ebb and flow with that. I think that there are some days where, to the core, I always feel worthy and deserving to accept. And I kind of use it differently. I'll go off topic for just a minute, but it's kind of related to this. I remember speaking one time at an event, and we were talking about, how do you feel when you say, "I deserve to be wealthy. I deserve to be rich"? Does that make you feel kind of ugh? Or does that make you feel empowered? Does that make you feel uncomfortable? What is that? What is that? I deserve to be rich. What does that make? What's the feeling inside of you? And more people than not said, that doesn't make me feel, that's uncomfortable for me. That doesn't feel good to me. I feel like I'm being greedy, or I feel like I'm being, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. And part of that's their money story. Part of that is their relationship. So I said, okay, let's turn that a little bit and say, I deserve to accept, and you can put in God, universe, whatever it is you believe in. I deserve to accept God's blessings for me. I deserve to accept the universe's blessings for me. It's a little change in the words, but it basically means the same thing, but it sits differently.
I'm open.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we ebb and flow, kind of back to your question now, we ebb and flow in that. And I feel like I'm worthy, and, I deserve to accept God's blessings for whatever he has planned for me. That is my belief. Do I have days where I am, a little down in the dumps? Of course, I'm human. We're all going to have that, right? But I will quickly course correct, if you will, and come out of that by doing some self-talk, by doing some journaling, by doing whatever I've got to do to get back on track in that mindset. Because the longer I stay in that unhealthy mindset, the muddier the waters get. If I stay focused on where I want to go and what I'm deserving and what I'm worthy of, and what I can do with that worth and helping and serving other people, then it becomes a place of empowerment, and knowing that with that worthiness I can reach more women, and I can reach more people, help them get to where they want to go.
I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
What is your heart's greatest wish?
My heart's greatest wish: health and happiness for my family and I. There is health and happiness. I mean, that's it. I mean, that to me is the true sign of success. Wow, I can't even speak. I would much rather have, I'm speaking too fast and the words are getting all mixed up. Health and happiness over, millions in the bank, if I had to choose one or the other, right?
I would like to add inner peace.
Yes, inner peace. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Those are the 3 tenets of living. Do you have a mantra that you live by?
I do a lot of self-talk. I don't know that I have one mantra that I say. I have a mantra that I say when I meditate, but it is, it's not a mantra that is spoken out in the world. But one of the things that I will commonly say is, every day in every way I'm getting better, whether that's physical health, mental health, emotional health, physical health, every day in every way I'm getting better. And that actually was, I can't take credit for that. That was given to me by a functional medicine doctor that I see. And she's been, wonderful. And she had that on one of her emails. And so I'm like, I like that. I'm going to use that. So I stole it. I can't take credit for it.
I love it. I love it. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Just start there. Like you said, 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. I remember those days. Tough. But as long as you get up and you show up, that's already a win for you. So just be kind to ourselves.
Yeah.
Whoever that's going through tough times.
100%. Yeah.
Is there anything that keeps you up at night, or do you sleep well?
Depends on the night. I am human. So yes, I mean, I have those nights where my mind races, and there's a lot going on in life, my son, health, friends, family. My mom has dementia and her experience. I lost my dad a few years ago. So there's a lot of things happening in my life. So yeah, there's some nights where I lay in bed and you know, I said earlier, our brain is sort of wired with a negative bias. So, you know, in the dark of night, everything seems worse, right? And
Yeah.
you gotta
It's
just,
amplified. Everything's amplified.
it's absolutely amplified. And I know that. So I catch myself, um, and I will walk myself through that. But some nights I sleep pretty soundly. So it just depends, you know, what's happening in that particular, you know, season of life.
Thank you for being honest and candid.
Yeah, gotta be that.
Okay. Last question, Patty. Now, this is a chance for you, to create your own quote. So, my question is, if you could create a quote right now for you to leave to the audience listening and the world as your legacy, what would it be?
Oh gosh. I would say compassion is the ultimate love. We need to be more compassionate with each other. Everyone's going through something.
I'm gonna take that as a
So
message from me too. Thank you so much.
you're
I
welcome. I
think
hope
that
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 that's it.
that beautifully wraps our. Oh my god, my cat! I am so sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, my cat is just wanting in on the conversation. I had a quite an wait. It wasn't a roller coaster, but definitely fun and engaging conversation with you. It's been very insightful.
Good. I'm glad I could help. I hope the listeners enjoyed it as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Betty, for the work that you do. I think we need more people like yourself in this world. And my job as a podcaster is to get your voice out there as far as we all can.
Thank you. I appreciate
All
that.
right. Thank you so much. So you have a great evening, and I wish you the best in your next endeavor and the best in your life.
Thank you, Nicolette. Likewise.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care now.
Bye.